3, 2, 1. What's going on, everyone? You're watching Ash on Comics. My name is Ash, and this is today's comic, Thor number 5. Now, I'm doing a car video today, so if the audio seems a little bit different, if you hear some humming or blowing sounds, whatever in the background, it's because I'm in the car, the air conditioner's running, it's summer. Yeah, so I was thinking about doing it with the windows down and, the car off. But then you hear man, there's a lot of noise where I live. not like city noise, but I'm parked at a church across the street from my house, and it's like a nice little shady area. It's got a little park area, and it's just kind of a nice little secluded area, but it's near a street, and every once in a while cars drive by, and I did some audio tests, and you could totally hear it, and I was like, let's see how it works with the air conditioning. It's not too bad. Anyways, here I am. I haven't even got anywhere near the video, and I'm already going off on some BS about being in the car. You don't care. So this is Thor number 5. Now, this, so far, of everyone that I follow in the comics, is a very well-received book. I thought it was just okay. It's I don't see why people are jonesing after it. Now, before I sat down to do this review, I ate my lunch and I read it again. Just think, maybe I don't know, maybe I wasn't in the right mood when I read it the first time, because that sometimes can happen. Like if your mood is off when you read something, it may completely taint your experience. But so I read it again just to see, I want to make sure I know what I'm talking about. I got my feelings straight, and here we go. So Thor, the Devourer King, Part 5, Reign. And you can see all the background information, and it opens up with Lady Sif, who's now the Watcher of the Bifrost, because for some reason Lady Sif can become Heimdall. Marvel things don't matter, so she gets Heimdall's. I mean, if Jane Foster can become Thor, I guess Lady Sif can become Heimdall. So we get this dialogue between her and Beta Ray Bill. And it's about it was Thor, I miss him, I don't know, I'm worried about him, I don't know. And it's all fine, but it's 3 pages of just kind of filler. It wasn't very additive to the story. They're worried about him, okay? They're worried about him. Then we cut back to where we left off in the last issue, which has been over 3 months waiting because of the COVID. The Eye of the Storm, the darkness has come, right? This whole thing that destroyed the universe where Galactus was originally from. But Galactus somehow escaped the destruction of his universe. And then when this universe was born, he's in it. So that's where we go. And it's all pretty, right? It looks visually very appealing. Donny Cates' writing is very easy to read. He's got almost a poetic feel in the way that he writes, and we're kind of hooked into his plot. This whole darkness, the Dark Winter, is something we haven't seen before. We're not sure what it is. We know a little bit about Galactus's mythos, he's from this previous universe before our universe. So Donny has done what a good writer should do and captured our interest. I like that. Thor is trying to fight the Dark Winter. It warps him into this weird plane of existence, and it manifests into different images that taunt Thor. And first he doesn't believe. He's like, "Oh, Gore the Gobbert, you can't be real." And he says, does it not feel real? Gore, no, I killed you, and I'll kill you again, you miserable. And he gets speared, and we see it's Loki. In Odin's name and by his beard and ravens, it's my treacherous brother Loki. How could this be? Ha ha ha! Look, Mother, he's trying to think. That is not my brother. He breaks off the spear sticking out of his gut. I've had enough. And then we see another. This is a Thor villain I'm not familiar with personally, but basically we come to, some of the great villains of Thor, the history of Thor. And it's like, this is how you die, says the Dark Winter. And it's a bunch of threat that Donny Cates is setting up. It's a weird time to set up this threat, however, because we're now in part 5, right? In a 3-act structure, setting up the threat should be done in acts 1 and 2. Dealing with it should be act 3. We should be in act 3 by now, I would think. We get some cool writing. Like, I'm just give you an example of Cates' writing here. We see the winter speaks, and Thor knows in his bones that it speaks the truth. He has felt the change in the air since he has ascended the throne, in the echoes, in the thunder, in the weight of his hammer. Something is wrong. Something is broken. But here, beaten and ragged in the eye of the final storm, the king of Asgard channels the ancient rage of the gods before him, and with a scream, he pleads with Mjolnir to help him push away the end one last time. And then he just goes nuclear. It is known as the God Blast, and if the Black Winter truly cannot be stopped, if it cannot be killed, then Thor will die this day knowing that the storm will not soon forget the day he made it bleed. And it's like, I like Donny Cates' narration. It comes off really cool. It's kind of epic. But here's kind of the problem that I'm having with this book. It's a lot of implied action. I talk about this a lot. It's, oh, look, there's this Dark Winter thing. Okay, it's power. It can do things. It can warp him to this other reality. Oh, here's the old villain. Here's how you're going to die. We don't actually see any sort of real fight or anything. It's just implied. He goes nuclear. That's kind of cool. And then he talks to Galactus. Are you still with me? And Galactus says, until it is done. And then Thor just basically shouts, show yourself, blah, blah, blah. So he does. And it's this dark anti-Thor thing. And Thor tells him, show me my fate then. And he's like, but not yours, not yet. And so it's just a bunch of back, villainous monologue type stuff. It's not that it's bad. I don't want to rag on this book. It's more of like bringing it down. And the crux here, and I'm going to spoil this for you. So if you don't want to be spoiled, I guess fast forward to the end. He basically says, Thor's like, why are you here? And Galactus is like, no, don't listen to him, because the Black Winter is telling him, I'm not here to destroy the universe. Like, you've been lied to. And Thor's like, well, why are you here then? He's like, to reclaim what is mine. I am here for him. For the one I spared, for the one I created. For Galen of Ta, for Galactus, my herald. And then we see Galactus like, damn you, don't out me to the public without my permission. So basically, he's revealed a skeleton in Galactus's closet. Apparently, if we're to believe the narrator, in this case, the Dark Winter, and that's the big reveal. Now, I like plot twists. I like big reveals. This isn't on the level of like an M. Night Shyamalan film, but it's a good reveal, good plot twist, and it makes me go, oh, where's this gonna go? This is interesting. And I love one thing that Donny Cates does amazing. The reason why Donny Cates, in my book, is one of the top writers in the industry is because he creates. He takes things that exist, such as Galactus and his origin, all this stuff that we know, and he adds to it. He's like, I'm going to show you something new. Did you know Galactus doesn't just create heralds? He himself is a herald. What? Now, that's a risk, because sometimes that's not going to always work. Sometimes the reader's going to go, that's stupid. But Donny Cates is batting over 500, right? He's usually hits. So in this case, it makes him an exciting writer because you're like, oh, he's going to give me something good again. And in this particular case, in Thor issue number 5, and all the Thors leading up to this, he has delivered. However, people that I've seen, their reactions like, it's amazing, this book is so good. So good. That was an inside joke. Some of you will get it. Now, I just don't think that it is. It's fun, and it was worth my money, and I'm going to give this a solid 3 stars. The art's pretty, the coloring is gorgeous, but it's just sort of a filler piece. I feel like the story is a bit stretched out, and I feel like the action, it's just like, look, like this big splash page, it's implied action. We don't actually get to see much going on except people in screaming poses and energy blasts. Okay, but I guess the point of this issue wasn't to be the action issue. This point of this issue was to be the reveal issues, and I guess it kind of delivered on that front. So 3 stars is a thumbs up for me. It's not a bad rating. It's just doing what a comic should do, and Cates always does that at the very least. So I recommend Thor as a series. This has not been my favorite issue of the series, but it's not a rag of the book. I feel like I need to be critical. Your miles are going to vary. This is still one of the only 3 books at Marvel that I'm willing to buy, and I'm going to keep buying it. So take that as another rating, if you will. So I hope you enjoyed my Thor review. Hope you enjoy Thor, and read good comics. I'll see you next time.